Alright, for the next video that we're going to be working on is called factoring trinomials. For the sake of this review, we're just going to be working with basic trinomials where if you were in my class last year, you may have seen it where there's a number in front of the x squared, such as like 2x squared plus 5x minus 7, and you have to factor that. We're not going to be focusing on that. We're just going to stick with basic trinomials and fact these. If you want to learn how to factor the other ones, you can always see me and I can show you that or provide you guys some resources with those more complex, higher level quadrilaterals. Sorry, quadratics, not quadrilaterals. Quadrilateral is a four-sided shape. Quadratic equation is an equation where the highest power is a 2, or the highest degree is the second degree. All right, so what we've done in the past, or maybe you've seen this before, when you're multiplying binomials, you use this box, and x plus 2, and so this is kind of like pre-learning to factoring, is understanding where these numbers come from. So you fill up this box here, and then you would combine like terms, and you have x squared plus 5x plus 6. So these numbers here, this 5 and this 6, are important, and they come from these two numbers here. 2 times 3 equals 6, and 2 plus 3 equals 5. And I can show you the same thing down here. If you do this one, I can tell you already 4 times 5 equals 20, and 4 plus 5 equals 9. So I can tell you that 20 and 9 are going to be in your answer. X plus 5, x plus 4, you have x squared, 5x, 4x. 4 times 5 is 20. So you have x squared plus 9x plus 20. And so as you can see, here's your 20, here's your 9. There you go. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going backwards. So we're going to start here and transform it to here. And to do that, what you're going to be doing is you're basically going to ask yourself, what two numbers will multiply to 5 but add to 6? Okay, well that's 5 and 1. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 plus 1 is 6. And you can check that using your box. X and 5 and x and 1. X squared, 5x, 1x, and 5, and together that's x squared plus 6x plus 5. That works out. That's the same thing. So your factored form is x plus 5 and then x plus 1. So what that means is if you take this times...
Attention, Vinny, please come to the main office.
Sorry about that announcement. That will happen from time to time. So if you take x plus 5 and multiply it by x plus 1, you're going to give you this here. So what factoring is if you think of like factoring, what it means, a factor, it just means what two numbers will multiply that number. For example, 2 and 3 are factors of 6. So similarly, x plus 1 and x plus 5 are factors, meaning they multiply to x squared plus 6x plus 5. These two things are factors of this here. And that's the concept that we're going to be working on. So basically ask yourself, what two numbers will multiply to 14 and will add to 9? Well, 7 and 2. We'll multiply to 14 and add to 9. So x plus 7, x plus 2. You can verify this here using the box. You don't need to, but it's a way for you to check that you've actually done it correct. So x plus 7, x plus 2. These two numbers here will multiply to that right there. All right, multiply to 16, but add to 8. Okay, so that would be 4 and 4. And again, you can fill out this box if you want to double check. I'm not going to. So we have x plus 4 times x plus 4. I want to find one where there's a negative sign. We've seen enough of these. Okay, here we go, negative sign. So multiply to 8, but add to negative 6. So in order to multiply to a positive number, they both have to be negative. So it's going to be x, or I have the variable n here, n, and minus, n, and minus. So they both have to be negative. So negative 4 and negative 2 would work. Because negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And then you have negative 4n and negative 2n, and together those give you the negative 6. So we have n minus 4, and we have n minus 2. Alright, again, same thing here. They got to multiply to 3 and add to negative 4. And so we need negative 3 and negative 1. And so this one would be x minus 3, x minus 1. Negative 3 and negative 1 add up to negative 4. Negative 3 times negative 1 multiplies to positive 3. Okay, here's one where we got to multiply to negative 15. So multiply to negative 15, but add to 2. So one has to be a positive, one has to be a negative, because in order to multiply to a negative number, one number has to be positive. Now, since the 2 is positive, my larger number is going to be positive. So I'm thinking 5 and negative 3. Because that will be 5y, that will be negative 3y. Those add up to the 2, and then 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So my answer would be y plus 5, and then I have a y minus 3. And there you go. I don't know. I can. I'll do this one yet. One last problem for you today. This is a 1 here. If there's no number in front of the variable, it's a 1. So we need to multiply to negative 20, but we need to add to positive 1. So that would be probably negative, see, m and m, negative 4 and positive 5. And these just take practice. Like, you'll notice that I can go through these pretty quickly because I've been I've been doing this stuff for a while. So if you're like, gosh, I can't do it as fast, that's okay, because it's a repetition problem, and it's just getting yourself to answer these two questions and just running numbers through your head quickly. And it doesn't have to be done fast. Just it has to be done with precision. And this box here can be your tool, your guide, if you're not more of a if you're more of a visual learner than a spatial learner. All right, and I'm probably gonna change this. Don't write this down yet. Yeah, in fact, this is not your assignment worksheet on Schoology calendar. You can either print it off or just write down the problems. But yes, we're not doing the book assignment today. Thanks guys for tuning in.